Well, hello and welcome to this midday market mood check with me, Nandita, Khemka, and guess what? My colleague Yatin is back from his holiday, and he's back to a sea of green, if I may say so, because the Nifty is gaining for a 7th straight day today, even though it has shaved off most of the gains that we saw since morning. In fact, at one point we were above the 17,700 mark, and it was turning out to be a day of triple-digit gains. However, right now we've kind of fizzled out around that 17,670 mark or so, and banks and autos are leading the gains on the index. And if you talk about particular banks, Bank of Baroda is one that came out with its first provisional update, and it has seen a deposit growth of somewhere around 15% on a YY basis, and because of that stock is up. Obviously, we can't not talk about Kotak Bank, because the data that has come out shows that the foreign holding in the quarter gone by has gone down by 1.5% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. So now the foreign holding stands somewhere around 41% or thereabouts, which means the headroom has gone up to a little over 25%, and this could result in inflows to the tune of $690 million. And because of that, this stock was up somewhere around 4%. And then there's SBI, of course. It will be in fact considering fundraise to the tune of $2 billion on the 18th of April. So that stock is in focus. Aside of that, auto stocks also in focus. Bajaj Auto has completed this, it has bought the marketing and sales rights from Triumph India, and because of that, it has seen an upgrade from Morgan Stanley. And because of that stock was also up. But let's talk about the IT pack. That will be the flavor this week.
Clearly, Nandita, we have all the IT majors which will be coming out with the results in the next 1-2 weeks. To my surprise, yesterday they were doing fine, not well but fine. And today, look at the sea of red in IT stocks. In fact, the panic has started trickling in for IT stocks ahead of earnings, be it TCS, Infosys. Both of these stocks are down, over 2%. In fact, right now, if you look at the IT index, it is one of the top losing, index, and 1.5% down. And you look at all the IT stocks, HCL Tech down 1%, Infosys 2.5% down, TCS 2% down, Wipro 1% down. So I think market is slightly nervous going into the result season for IT stocks, because you never know how will be the Q4 performance, and more importantly, when US banking crisis is there, European banks are also falling. How really does the order book or the outlook really stand? Because we have seen most of these banking conglomerates or big banks sharply trading down. Bond yields have gone up, and BFSI for Indian IT stocks is still 35 to 40% of revenues on an average. So it's a very big space. And most likely, if there is a tone down by IT companies with respect to this sector, or there is some revision in guidance, that is something we'll be watching out for. But yes, going into TCS Infosys results, we have seen a lot of fresh shorting, which is happening in the F&O segment. So watch out for IT stocks. Probably there could be some profit taking or selling, which could emerge as a result of weak earnings outlook.
Yatin, of course, BFSI commentary will be keenly watched out for, given the fact that, you mentioned 35 to 40%. So TCS's 38% revenues are, basically coming from BFSI vertical, right? So that, and plus TCS has gone through a turbulent time, given the fact that, Rajesh Gopinathan has resigned. And, if sources are to be believed, Krithivasan, who's the next CEO, will be taking up Q&A after the, Q4 at the presser. Tomorrow. So that's something that the street will also be watching out for. Aside of that, mid-cap end of the markets were also pretty okay. They weren't doing very well, but they were gaining to the tune of 0.3 to 0.4%, and a lot of mid-cap movers in today's session, starting with Shilpa Medicare. That stock was up
9%. Last time I checked, and that is on the back of arthritis drug approval, which has come in from the US FDA. Also, Nandita, pharma stocks like Glenmark are also in focus, because they have been talking about reduction of debt in their subsidiaries. IRB Infrastructure, Shipping Corporation, Kalpataru Power are the other stocks which are moving on the back of news. In fact, if you look at Shipping Corporation, there have been reports in the media that May is when the government would likely get through the second phase of the bidding for Shipping Corporation. Also, we have BEML, a lot of these divestment candidates which could be active in the new financial year, because there have been talks that the government really wants to step up the entire divestment process. Star Health Insurance rallies on the back of robust growth in their premium collections, and Neogen Chemicals also is up 7% after they have tied up with a Japanese major for electrolyte solutions. So the whole host of mid caps moving on the back of stock specific news, and yes, the market right now, the Nifty is looking good, 50 points up, and the market breadth is also quite decent as of now. But yes, the only spoil sport in today's trading session is the IT pack.
You know, since we are talking about the markets, I want to also highlight the rain forecast from the Met department that's just coming in. You know, they are saying that they expect a normal monsoon and 96% of long period average rainfall this monsoons. But yesterday we had SkyMet coming out and saying that, you know, we will be looking at a below normal monsoon. So a lot of these stocks like FMCG and, you know, the two-wheeler basket, the tractor end of the market, these will be in focus given the fact that, you know, earnings season also coming, and how the next or the coming quarters will pan out will depend on how the El Nino situation pans out. So that also assumes significance. But aside of that, Yatin, another truncated week for us. Friday is a holiday, but we have HDFC Bank on Saturday. So, you know, some of us may have to work there as well. So aside of that, any other observations you're making about where the markets are heading, given the fact that, you know, the RBI came out with a very surprise pause last week. I think you were on a holiday, but you know, we were discussing this yesterday with Anuj also, that now looks like, you know, much of the rate hike is behind us, and you know, here on we may look at, you know,
so I think
a longish pause, if not more.
So I think market has really absorbed that March selling into April, because April a lot of mid caps have moved 10-20%. RBI has done a surprise pause. There was a 25 basis point rate hike expectation. So yes, RBI has made it clear that depending on the situation, they will look at a pause stance. Market is probably priced in all of that. But yes, with the earnings season kicking in, I think the markets will now focus there. IT stocks, as I was mentioning, are under pressure because markets probably believes that now, you know, the risk is more than the reward in IT stocks, given the uncertainty with respect to the US banking sector. But yes, that commentary will be something which will give direction to the markets. Plus, we have a whole host of other banking earnings which will come in, starting with HDFC Bank on Saturday. So yes, we'll watch out for all of those data points, and a lot of companies are already started coming in with their quarterly updates, which have been fine so far. No complaints.
No complaints.
So Nifty 7,680, good bounce back from the lower levels. And something we'll watch out for very keenly is the IT earnings season.
Well, some of the experts I spoke to were saying that, you know, maybe the weakness, you know, the upcoming quarter may not be as weak as is being expected, but, you know, given the fact that so much has happened in the US and even back home with top deck rejigs at some of these marquee IT companies, we'll have to wait and see how things pan out. Well, I think we've covered most of the stocks for today's market check, but you know, with that we'll say goodbye right now. But Yatin will be coming back at 3:30 p.m. with Santo to take you through the market close. So tune in for that. And for now, goodbye from us. And for all your other news and market updates, stay tuned to Moneycontrol.
Thanks.